Do you have any ideas or beliefs about how we could strengthen our bonds with our fellow citizens, like with the people in Chaz, for instance? Like, how could we actually connect with them? Like, me and you, for instance, like, do we have anything in common? Like, could we actually connect with these people?
I'm sure we have things in common, and I'm sure there's something we could do. Is the issue I see is demands people are making and on one side, and the stubbornness of people on the other side. And I almost feel like we need to somehow come to a middle ground with both people on our viewpoints and, hash things out in a civil way. But, in terms of Chaz wanting less government, I'm not against that.
It's so weird.
The thing, the way they're going about it basically is what I kind of don't like. But it's it's kind of funny because the people that don't want more government
want more government.
Well, they're the ones that are least likely to go into politics. But how are you going to make it so there's less government unless you get into politics?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you actually become involved.
This is the whole point of the purple pill, is that there's this huge group of people, right, in the protests, and a huge group of people sitting at home or whatever who are seeing this and being like, this is bullshit or whatever. These are all people who are dissatisfied with the status quo, but they're really normal people, and they're seeing these outlier situations and applying it as if this is all of American people. But really, no, there's someone who has control over what goes into our minds in one way or another. No, not someone, but an organization, something, meaning just that sort of puts the things in front of you that you get to choose from. And I think we can change that if we all just decide, hey, we as citizens are united against the people who try to control us in an unfair way. And if that's a third party, or if that's I don't know what it would need to be, but I know that if Donald Trump and Joe Biden are our options this election, like that's really heartbreaking to me. That's like I don't feel like it was pointed out enough at the time, but that was like the death of the nation to me. It was like that was an indication that even after we made a fatal mistake that tore us into fucking shatters, it just tore us apart, we're gonna do the exact same thing, but worse. Really,
I think a large part of this issue with things going on now is we get these issues like people wanting change for police brutality, and what you hear is each person's individual opinion, but people just get upset when you have a different opinion. But what you say something different and it comes out a completely different way. They hear, so like I think we still need the police, and they hear we shouldn't change anything. But the funny thing is, I think the majority of people, like 90% of people, believe things need to change.
Well, that's why it is really just about those elected officials in our country. It really is about if you actually have elected officials who actually are on all of our sides, and not just a couple of special interests who kind of are the winners and take, we're all just kind of fighting for them if we don't actually get a sort of piece of the pie, right, when that person gets in office, for them to do the things that we find a common goal, right? Like if you agree that police need to be reformed, but only somewhat, and then this person agrees that police need to be reformed, then an elected official between us should agree that the police need to only, that need to be reformed somewhat, and voters also, really do need to hold the people they elect accountable, but they've figured out how to mass manipulate us into all believing that we have no individual choices. It's only one vote. It won't matter, and it hits every single one of us almost. They've got us in a box. They know how to make us, put them back in power. It's crazy. It's and we do it voluntarily. It's kind of baffling.
And that's a scary thing. But part of the issue is our lack of options. I mean, even when there was still like 10 people up there debating before coronavirus hit for the nominees.
We all knew.
It was a giant shit show. I didn't see a single person up there I really liked. There were several people I did maybe.
Poor boy Yang.
there were several people I didn't dislike, per se.
That's right.
But
just like it.
you know, we get down to these two people, and it's just hilarious because everything you see on social media right now is either Trump's a racist, Trump's a sex offender, or some shit like that, or you hear Biden's senile, that guy has dementia, or that guy's a pedophile, or I keep seeing the same picture of Biden over and over again, like kissing his granddaughter, and the fucking Republicans are just like showing that to everyone they can, like, oh, don't vote for Biden. And I'm like, can I actually like hear what these guys' policies are?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, what's with the meme wars? We're just like we're just like literally just like.
Like, is this what
spitting in each other's
2020 has
faces.
gone to? I thought
Yeah.
we would be like flying cars by now or something, and instead we're on social media like acting like 5-year-old children.
Yeah, and we're not talking about policy at all, too, and that's the crazy part. Like, there's no policy conversation, because if there was a policy conversation, that's another place we all kind of have some agreements. You know, not 100%, but I also think they're at least less polarizing. When we disagree, it's for more of like, I'm not sure I fully understand where you're getting at. You know, not oh, you're a fucking asshole and I hate you. You know, and
that's the thing is, we get to these discussions and it's just funny. I posted something political on my Instagram like 2 weeks ago, and it was basically this pastor who grew up in the ghetto describing to everyone what it was like when they defunded the police. So I think it might have been after Rodney King or something. This was in like Chicago, and basically was just talking about how the crime rate skyrocketed once they defunded police. And he was talking about, basically in the video, like 2 or 3 minutes into it, how he definitely agrees that like thing needs to change, but like just completely removing the police is like the wrong idea. Well, I get a DM on Instagram, I think it was actually at your house, like 10 minutes into 10 minutes after I posted it, and this girl's like mad at me, and she's like, hey, like, I think you should look up, like, you know, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna say before you say it. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, if they defund the police, you could be helping out the Latino communities, and you could help fund poor communities to like help education, and just like talking about how the police don't need all this funding, basically. And I'm like, hold up, my video didn't disagree with anything you just said. I'm like, did you watch past like 2 minutes into it? And it's funny, and I'm like, I get it. No one wants to watch a 10-minute video if you're like busy or whatever. And like, I mean, sometimes you do. I do sometimes. But why are you gonna argue with me if you didn't even watch the whole conversation? Like, she doesn't even know. She heard 10 seconds of it and decided the rest of the conversation for herself. And I think most people do that. They hear one person's opinion on a single issue, and they decide they know everything about them. They're like, okay, you think that we should have gun control. You're a liberal, but they don't know anything else about that person's beliefs.
Yeah.
They have no idea, and it could go the other way around. This person could be like, I'm pro-life, and they're like, oh, you're a right-wing person, you're a Republican, you're conservative, or whatever. And then they might just decide not to talk to them anymore. And it's like, okay, hold up. There's definitely several circumstances where you can have one belief and still be in a different party. But why does it even matter what party you're in? You can still have your own opinions.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, are we actually, are any of us actually going towards a tangible goal? What do we want? You know, like, what do the people want? You know, and it's like, and we seem to not be able to put a common like goal on that. To me, it seems like, you know, just my opinion, but I think young people in America feel like their creativity is stifled by the fact that they are crippled with debt, feel like they need to, you know, go into monotonous jobs, and they can't, their, you know, entrepreneurship's down, all these, you know, sort of indications of a prosperous future for our generation look low. Yeah, you know, I guess I don't know what to do either, but I feel like we need to establish a common goal, because, and I think it really does have to do with, I hate to say this because this is where it gets sort of political, and so maybe, you know, I don't know which pill I'm taking here. it's not about like, it's not about wealth, but it is about power, and wealth is power in our country. And there is this, to me, I feel that the people who are angriest, or people who want change the most, want it because they don't know who controls them. They feel like they're being manipulated. They don't feel like they have any autonomy over their own life, and the statistics are reminding them of that. And so is Instagram, and so is all these other things. That everybody's so much smarter than them. They can't really figure out why, but everybody's so much smarter than them. It's just like, it's just so defeating. And recently, Warren Buffett did acknowledge that, in order to avoid a class conflict, we may need to have a wealth tax of some sort. And it's like, yeah, I've actually, looked into the wealth tax. I see why there's problems with it. And in fact, Peter Schiff makes a great argument about why it's like actually really, there is obviously some huge problems with like at least what has been proposed to do it before. But if we can find a way to agree on not necessarily the solution, the policy solution, but like, what is the goal? We want most people in our country to have the most amount of opportunity to really bring forward their being and help partially contribute to our greater society, but mostly just to be their best self, to live the American dream, because it seems like it's dying. And I think even Americans who do control it and stuff, I think they're sad to see that too. I think they were thinking they were playing the American dream, right? And they didn't see it changing in front of them. They kept winning and kept winning, and they didn't see that the next generation kind of didn't want to play it the way they were playing it. And so they were just like, oh, fuck it. If they don't want the rewards, I'll take them. They don't realize it's not that they didn't want them. They don't even see the system you're playing in because they don't think that, to them, it's almost immoral, I think, and so they think it's like it couldn't be like that, or I'm misunderstanding, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it seems like a lot of people in our generation don't get into, for instance, finance and stuff because it seems confusing and stuff. I think it's not. I don't think it's actually that confusing. I think it's really just that you're just like baffled. You're like, how does this person make money for mm-hmm. for making money, like, or whatever? You just get like, so he took money here, he gave it to that guy gave it to that guy. How come this guy ended up with all, I don't know. Anyways, so that was great. Thank you for doing this. I wanted to bring you on because I feel like you're actually like a perfect example of the political purple pill. I know you kind of identify with like one or the other, more probably, but I think you have a purple pill in your heart in the sense that like you really do. I think you do hear people out. I think you do respect other people's opinions, and I think like, for instance, you're very much like an environmental person. You're very much like a and this is one of the things that's so tough about being an individual, is that you should be able to love the environment and be as as earth loving as you want and still be a Republican. You should be as earth hating as you want and be able to be a Democrat, frankly. So anyways, yeah, thank you for doing this, and thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.